Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to episode 5 of Smeltz's personal podcast. For today's podcast, I have one of my very good friends of mine. Please welcome for the first time on my podcast, my friend Eric Ingman.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on the podcast.
Thank you for joining me, Eric. So, why don't we get started? What are we going to be talking about, today?
Today, we decided to talk about a class we both take, which is choir, and there's a lot of misconception around it, and there's a lot of bad feedback that it gets, but I just want to talk about, we're going to talk about just what we think of it and our experiences of it.
Yeah, for sure. You want to get started?
Sure. So, this year, in choir, I didn't do it last year, but this year it's been amazing. I first went in a little timid because it's a new school. I didn't take choir last year, and I walked in and I didn't really know what to expect, but I met some really cool people, and I've had some really good experiences so far.
Yeah, I think I met Eric when we were first involved. I think I met you, when we were involved in choir back in middle school when we had Mrs. Kimsey as our teacher.
I love Miss Kimsey.
Yeah, it's been, forever since we, heard from her. I think I had her when I was in 8th grade choir, and we were both tenor/bass baritone. It was just a guy section, and then obviously the soprano and alto section in middle school.
Yeah, I remember it was just 45-minute classes every day, and it's just a bunch of friends. A lot of our friends didn't even sing that much, but it's just a bunch of friends, and that's kind of what got me interested in choir in the first place.
Yeah, she thought that I was a bass at first, but then I get to high school and our new teacher thinks that I'm a tenor, and I've been a tenor for the last 2 years of choir now.
Yeah, it was kind of the opposite for me. So I went in, and Mr. Kentros, love the guy.
Yeah, shout out to him.
He put me as a tenor at first, and it was really weird because I stood out because I can't sing very high, if no one could tell. So I got transitioned to low bass, and that's been a lot easier to adjust to. But yeah, I would say the Eastmont experience with all of my friends there, and a lot of them came up to this school too. That's what got me interested.
Yeah. I have a question. What has been your favorite thing about being in a part of choir the last couple of years?
Obviously I talked about how I love the people here. The environment is so chill that no one will get on you, and it's stress free. I kind of treat it as a free period where I could just relax and just hang out with friends, and it's really cool. It's just a really fun just to spend an hour with people and learn some pretty cool music. And I just liked spending the time with the people and learning some cool songs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some of the songs that we've been learning this year are really, really cool. And I love the experience that I have now in high school than back when I was in middle school choir. Because I feel middle school choir, she didn't really pay attention to the importance of dynamics and stuff. She just let us roam free. And then with Mr. Kentros, he takes that job very, very seriously.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. And this is different because it's a little bit of a step up, because in middle school it wasn't really an audition. You just showed up and you're there, but here you actually have to audition and make it. And he's been teaching for 5-6 years at least here.
Yeah, and
plenty of experience before that. And there's a little more pressure with it, but you just gotta push that out of the way, and it's really fun. So let's talk a little bit more about Mr. Kentros. What are your experiences with him? You've been doing this longer than I have. I obviously didn't do it last year.
Kentros, honestly, he is such an amazing choir director, and he, works so hard to, try to, make sure that we, are at our best, and, he's always been, our biggest, encouragement. He's so he tells us all the time how proud he is and how hard we worked. He's always pushed us to be our best, and it's I just like the guy so much. He's such an amazing choir director.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember this, but he came to our middle school when we were there. He came and worked with us, and thought he was pretty cool. It was a little scary because, I mean, I was like 12. So
Yeah, talking to a high school choir director. Yeah.
He was like telling me what to do, and he's like, bro, I don't even know how to do this. But yeah, I love the guy. He's super understanding of all levels. Like, if you join and you little to no choir experience, or if you're really experienced, he'll be understanding no matter what level you are at. And that's what I really like about him. So what are your favorite experiences, at least this year?
Junior year, in choir, I gotta say there were definitely, like, ups and downs. Like, obviously, we got so many amazing opportunities in choir where we got to perform, like, at the mall, downtown, Salt Lake City at Liberty Park. We also got to perform at old folks' home, like the assisted living centers. And then, obviously, we went down to Shakespeare competition. Like, there was both, like, highs and lows of, like, that competition. Like, I don't want to get into too much detail, but, like, I explained this on, like, my episode with Isaiah, that, yeah, like, we had an experience, like, down in Shakespeare where, like, a lot of people's feelings were hurt, but we got through it, and it was just such an amazing opportunity to, like, be down there, like, together, because I feel like going down to competition and doing all these performances really brought us closer as, like, not only just as a choir, but as really, really good friends.
Yeah, and I really like how you talked about how great of an opportunity it was, because a lot of the judgment this class receives is, it's like, oh, singing class, that's kind of weird, like but it's not really like that, and it obviously depends on your teacher and the people in the class. But even if you're not really, if you're looking for something to try out, if you're looking for something new, then it's not a bad idea to sign up for this, for at least one of the classes. There's so many classes that are available for you to take, and it's just a great opportunity. Even if it's not for you, it was such a great class. It helps me out if I'm not having a great day. This class is just fun just because of the people, the environment, and it's a really fun class. Okay, we covered quite a bit. Do you want to talk about the different sections and what your opinion?
Oh, okay. So, I feel like the main groups that get harassed the most are the tenors and the altos. I don't know why, mainly. Like, Kentros likes to say that the tenors are too loud and they stick out too much. I mean, we sing very high, so, like, I wouldn't expect, like, I expect us to, like, stand out, but still, people make fun of us for it. And then I don't know why people harass the altos that much. Like, the altos are not that bad, honestly. Like, the basses, absolutely everyone thinks that they're, like, the coolest section ever.
I mean, obviously.
I mean, yeah, say it for yourself as a bass. And then sopranos, yeah, they're, like, amazing, of course. Like, they always do such an amazing job.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so we have soprano, alto, tenor, bass. So 4 sections. And, I mean, of these sections, I think, I mean, obviously I'm a dude, so I don't really know a lot of the people in the sopranos or altos, but a couple, at least, like, I'm friends with at least a couple of them, and everyone, no matter, it's so inclusive, like, no matter what kind of person, like, there's just so many different people, and they all, like, are so welcoming, and it's such a great environment. And I've met so many new friends, especially in my own section. Shout out to Max Human. He's a senior. He's gonna be graduating this year, but I just love the sections, and especially sectionals. What do you think about sectionals?
Sectionals, yeah. Like, I feel like sectionals can be, like, a problem sometimes, because, like, Kentros has mentioned before that some people tend to get distracted, you know, always talk, like, on their phones, but whenever, like, we're in sectionals, like, when it comes to the tenor section, like, we're always, like, focused. Like, Ricky always says, yeah, shout out to Ricky Tovar. He's one of our top tenors that we love so much, and, like, he's such an amazing singer. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely agree. Also, style's top notch. better style than almost anyone I know.
Honestly, yeah. Ricky, if you're listening, like, we're literally complimenting you right now.
Yeah. And the hair too, bro.
Yeah, that hair, man.
I don't know how he does it.
But yeah, like, he always, like, says that we do a good job, like, with staying focused, always, like, getting through our songs. And yeah, sectionals can be distracting sometimes, but it's very, very efficient and helps us, like, improve a lot on our songs when we're learning them. Like, that's what I just say about sectionals.
Yeah, bass section the sectionals are interesting. I mean, usually we're pretty productive, but I would say there's a minority that doesn't really do anything, or they chuck stuff at each other or whatever. It's so fun though, but I mean, we still get stuff done. We did really good in our performances. But I would say we definitely need to get better at that.
Yeah. Now, you asked me this question, and I'm going to ask you the same question. What are your opinions about Mr. Kentros?
Oh, my opinions. I mean, I kind of told you, first met him in middle school, but I mean, I was terrified of him at first, but I mean, nobody should be. He's such a nice guy. Understanding of everyone.
Like, he may like look and seem like he's scary and intimidating, but he is like the sweetest person I've ever met.
He's such a nice dude, and like I said, he'll help you no matter where you're at. And I mean,
like, whether it's like rotating the choir or just something going on in your personal life, he's always there to listen. Like, if you're like struggling, like, he's always there to listen, and I can speak that from personal experience.
Also, something I want to cover. So I'm on the Jordan soccer team, and I have a lot of commitments outside of choir. A lot of people, this is their one commitment, but I talked to him about this, and he's been really understanding that even if you have something else going on in your life that is like a huge time commitment, he'll still be accepting of you. You can still join choir, because I've talked to him about it. And he'll work you through it. Even though he wants you to make it a priority, he will always rather you be in the choir than you not be in it, just for another commitment reason. So he's really understanding with what you're doing outside. So a lot of people, that's their reason for not joining choir, and I think he makes it so you don't have to go through that with that option.
Yeah, and that's a good point to like mention, because yeah, like, I go through the same thing. Like, I used to be on the wrestling team my sophomore year, and like when I first, like, I was only involved with like a cappella at that time, but honestly it was like super hard to like manage choir and then wrestling, and then at the time I got myself my first job, and so then it reached a point where I had to talk to Kentros about it. And yeah, he was very understanding, like, make it work. And I eventually did, at one point, to a minimum, that I had to, like, let one of those things go. And, like, if it reaches a point, like, where you have to, like, let one thing go, like, that's totally understandable. But, like, it's, like, been such an amazing experience that I've, like, been in choir, even if I had to let some things go.
So, do we want to talk about festival?
Oh yeah, let's get into that. Like, so
let's get into that.
So recently, Eric and I got the opportunity as a combined men's choir, and we also shout out to the combined women's choir that also was there with us. We got to go to our region competition, which is usually a competition where we get scored and determine if we get to go to state. And so, like, what was, like, the one thing that you were, like, nervous about? Like, what was the, like, most thing that you were, like, nervous about, like, going into competition?
Man, so, competition obviously was yesterday, so on a Tuesday, and coming back from the long weekend, we didn't have class Monday, and I couldn't go to, no, it was Wednesday, sorry, my bad. But I had to miss the rehearsal, and obviously because I had soccer stuff, but didn't feel prepared, because in a lot of our other competitions we have so much more time to prepare for it, and I was just worried that I would like totally botch it, but it turned out really good. We qualified for state, and that's everyone's really happy about that, and the women's choir qualified for state too, and So I think we did a really good job, especially with the little time we had.
Yeah, as Eric said, we qualified for state.
I know, big deal.
For the second year in a row. Like, it is,
awesome.
like, absolutely insane. Like, shout out to everyone. Like, everyone did such an amazing job.
Yeah, I'm so
and,
proud
like,
of my boys, bro.
like, what was the one thing that you were most excited about, like, going into competition?
I mean, I really liked our songs. We had 2 songs in French, right? No, or was it? We had
Viva l'amour and Dilettons.
Dilettons. Those were both French songs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then so just like some really cool songs. Like I said, a lot of about choir that I like so much. The songs are super cool. But honestly, I was just excited to perform. Obviously, I was more nervous, but I mean, it's really fun. We've been working at this for a while, so it's and I'm just so excited that we were able to qualify. And I think our competition's in May, right?
Yeah, May 11th or through the 13th.
We'll figure out when we're doing it, but
yeah, and all we know is that it's at the University of Utah, and so yeah, that's
gonna be super cool.
Really, really cool. Like, overall, like, how do you think we all did? Like not only us, but how do you think like all the rest of the schools, like Lehigh, Alta, Timpanogos, like how do you think we all did like at the competition?
I think we did really good. There was a lot of non-audition choirs there, so there was a couple that.
And like what I've noticed, like with the non-audition choirs, like some of them, like they sounded decent, but I feel like they sounded like they didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, they're not audition choirs, so a lot of them,
so like
they take the class just because they feel like it, but...
Or like, they were, like, basically forced to.
Or they were forced to, but, I mean, I thought everyone did really good. I mean, a lot of, the only groups that really struggled were the ones that didn't really have as many numbers, but I think all of them put in a lot of effort, and it was really cool to see. It was a long time, though. We had to sit in the auditorium for, like, 6 hours, and we performed at, like, the very end.
Yeah.
It was so long.
The women's choir performed like an hour before the men's choir.
We were the second to last performance, and it was like so cold in there. But
yeah, and boring too.
It was so boring. You were just you get sick of it.
But honestly, it was so worth it. Like, it was such an amazing opportunity that we got to listen to all of these choirs perform, and everyone did like such an amazing job.
Yeah. Well.
Why don't So yeah, like, we qualified for state. We're going to the U. Anything else you would like to mention?
I think we pretty much covered everything. We're running low on time, but
yeah. So the results from both our women's and men's choir. First of all, let's start off with the women's choir. Like, what songs did each like group sing? Like, let's start with the women's choir. Like, all songs, and then what was their like overall rating?
So to qualify, you need to get an overall score of a 1, right?
Yeah.
Oh. So I think the women's choir did really good. I would say my favorite of their pieces was Ad Astra. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the songs are super cool. But I think, I mean, they did really good. I don't really know what to say other than they killed it.
Yeah, and they ended up getting a superior rating, which is the highest rating you can get. Like, out of all 3 songs, they all got a 1 from each adjudicator, and we had like 3 adjudicators. I
mean, I have the bias of they go to our school and everything, obviously, but they're our choir. But I think of all the women's choirs there, they were my favorite.
Yeah.
So I really liked how they did. I'm proud of them, and glad they represented us.
Mm-hmm. And then the men's choir, like, what songs like did we sing, and then what was our superior rating? Like, let's get into that, like the men's choir.
So we also had a superior rating of a 1.
Yep. And like we mentioned before, we performed 3 numbers. Viva l'amour, which honestly was like one of my favorite pieces.
That was really fun.
Was Viva l'amour. And
lots
then
of energy.
And then Dilettons and
Sisi
Namoya, yeah. And we on all 3 adjudicators, we all got a superior rating of a 1. And honestly, to like close, like, I'm just so proud of everyone that like performed at region, and we're going to state, man. We're going to state.
We're going to state. I'm really excited for that.
So, like, to close off the episode, anything you would like to close with, Eric?
Just to say to anyone out there who may think choir is kind of dumb, I would give it a chance. I mean, usually it's a lot of the people that are playing sports at school. There's a lot that aren't really understanding of the musical arts, but it's really fun. It's not just singing all day. You meet a lot of cool people, and I would give it a chance.
Yeah, likewise, like, if you have an opportunity, like, take choir, and if you go to Jordan and you're listening right now, go talk to Mr. Kentros. He's trying to recruit as many kids as possible.
And they have plenty of available options. If you're not looking to be very committed, they have non-audition choirs, they have only men's, only women's choirs, but if you're looking to take it to the next level, they have a cappella choir and then madrigals.
Which a cappella is what Eric and I are in, and I'm also involved with madrigals as well, which is higher than a cappella.
Don't gotta rub it in.
Wow. I didn't mean to rub it in.
And no, it's really cool. If you want to do madrigals though, you also have to take a cappella, so it's a big schedule commitment, but I'm only taking a cappella because of how my schedule is, but it's really worth it, and I would definitely consider it.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Thank you everyone for listening to episode 5, talking about our experiences with choir and the fact that, like, we talked about region, and also the fact that we're going to state. And also thank you, Eric, for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, peace out, guys. See you in the next episode.